Good morning, guys, or good afternoon, or good evening, whenever you guys are watching this. Hey, I just bought a older work truck. It's a 2000 Chevy 2500. It's got 74,000 miles on it. And anyways, I'm just going through. I just bought it the other day. We're going to use it as a work truck. It's just going to be a work mule for us. I'm going to throw a flatbed on it and probably use it for pulling maybe a mowing trailer, helping out with landscaping. Anyway, so it's 2000. It's got 73,000 miles on it. It's got the Chevy 6.0 Vortec in it. And I've just been going through all the fluids, checking everything, and I noticed that the heat is not as hot as it should be. So, what I'm going to do today is I'm going to back flush the heater core. I'll show you how I do it. This is my first time ever back flushing a heater core system. I'm not a mechanic, I'm a landscaper, so bear with me here. We'll do this together. So, anyways, if your heater core is not working properly, or you're not getting enough heat out of your system, here's the progression of what you need to check. First of all, you need to check the fluid, the radiator fluid. So the radiator fluid is what basically heats up the heater core. That's what flows through your heater core. If you have low coolant, this coolant looks okay. If you have low coolant, it's not going to be able to push the coolant through the heater core, and your heater core is not going to warm up. Your heater core is basically a closed loop system, so it runs off the water pump. So here's the heater core, and whether it's Chevy Vortec or other vehicles, basically the heater core, in order to find the lines, it's going to be these two black lines running through the firewall. So how do I know that this is clogged? Basically, this is the inlet. When I start the motor up and I get it up to running temperature, this is warm, this is the inlet, this is the outlet, and this is a lot cooler than this, which tells me that the coolant is going in the core, but it's not able to circulate all the way through. So it's not heating the entire heater core, and I'm not getting the heat, and that's why it's not producing the heat that it needs to be producing. Now, guys, there is another potential problem is if I fix this and I flush it and I'm still having problems with heat, it could be the blend door inside or the actual knob. But I'm thinking, I'm 90% sure it's just going to be the heater core. So I'm going to hook up a hose, I'm going to back flush this with water, and then hopefully we'll get a little more heat. Guys, I picked up these parts at Ace Hardware for about 26 bucks. So I've got just your typical spray nozzle. I've already got them hooked up. This spray nozzle is going to get attached to here, like so. This coupler is basically, this nipple goes into here and then screws right into this. So what I'm going to do, and I'll show you here, is I'm going to hook this up to the outlet part of the heater core. I'm going to cut this hose, hook that into the inlet. I'm going to drain this into a bucket, and I'm going to hook water up to this and just put water through it, and it should back flush the system. Now the thing is, these heater cores only run at like 10 to 12 psi, so you don't have to have this on full blast to run it. You don't want to just turn on the water and let it run full blast. I mean, if you can feather it, or if you don't have a gun per se, and you're just turning on the water from your house, just turn it on real lightly and let it flow out. So I'm going to get this cut. We're going to pull these hoses off. Next step is to go in here and pull those two hoses off. So I'll get a wrench on it, we'll pull them off, and we'll get this hooked up. Okay guys, so I've separated these, I pulled the hoses off. This is going to go on the outlet side, so we're going to back flush it, we're going to push the clogs out of it. So I'm going to hook this up to the outlet side, hook the water up to this, then we're going to hook this up, and to the inlet side, remember we're reverse back flushing this. I'm just going to run this down to a bucket down below the truck. I'm going to show you guys, you know, if we get any dirty, we should be getting dirty fluid out of here because it's clogged with either black specks or just dirt or whatever buildup. So, guys, I'm not a mechanic, I'm a landscaper, so just bear with me on this stuff. I'm sure my terminology is wrong on some of it, but we're going to give this a shot, see if we can make it happen. Okay, and I failed to mention these hoses. These are 5/8 inch diameter hoses. I've got this hooked up. So I'm going to hook the hose up to this end. This is where typically it flows out. This is where it typically flows in. So we're back flushing these. Okay, so I'm going to put water on this, give it a little bit of pressure. I've got this running below the truck. This is going to go into a bucket. Guys, make sure you run it into a bucket. It doesn't drain on the floor, doesn't get into drains, doesn't get on the floor of your garage. This stuff kills animals. If you got a dog, you got a cat, you know, and they're running around your garage, they'll lick this stuff up. Before you know it, you'll have a dead pet, which is not good. Or, you know, animals, other animals too. So just dispose of it properly. Make sure it doesn't run everywhere. Just be safe with it. All right, let's hook the water up. Okay, so I've got this. I'm going to hook up this here. Then I've got that hose, hard to see, wired down to here. That bucket's already dirty. I don't have a clean bucket. Okay, here's the setup. So the water turned on, but I got water here. Coming out. So guys, another tip would be with these plastic hoses. If it's really cold out, they don't like to bend. Heat them up with like a torch or a heater of some sort, and they will go over the inlets, the nipples, pretty well. Alright, we got the water on. Alright guys, as you can see, I've got the coolant out of there. I'm putting a little bit of water in here. Running it out. Alright guys, there it is. So I basically pushed the coolant, the dirty coolant out. And now I just got to hook up the hoses, fire it up, and hopefully get a little more heat. Alright guys, heater hoses are back on. Should be good to go. I'm gonna fire this thing up. One thing I did not video is what I did is I took once I filled it up, I took a funnel, and on the inlet side and the outlet side, I filled it back up with radiator fluid. So I basically just took this, hooked it up, put radiator fluid until it flowed out the next side or the other side, so it's full with radiator fluid. And I know it's not clogged anymore because it's flowing just fine. All right, guys, there you have it. Here's the truck. We got heat back. Alright guys, that's how you flush the heater core in a 2000 Chevy Silverado 2500. I'm pretty sure that this method will work for probably 90% of heater cores. I'm not a mechanic, I'm a landscaper. But with that said, it's basically just a radiator that heats up. You just got to make sure that you get the fluid going all the way through it. It'll clog doesn't get fluid or the hot radiator fluid all the way through it, and then you don't get heat. So guys, if you got any questions, drop them below. If you like the video, hit the subscribe button. Thanks for checking out my channel.